Mission Karmayogi is a national program for civil services capacity building aimed to reform Indian bureaucracy. Envisaged by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the mission is launched with a view to create a highly efficient civil service that will contribute more towards the development of the country. The institutional framework for the mission has been designed by the Department of Personnel and Training under the guidance of Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh. In India, there are 20 million bureaucrats touching the lives of the citizens on a day-to-day basis. Civil servants play one of the most crucial roles in formulating the public policies as well as their execution. They are the backbone of our country. A lot of expectations of the nations are attached with the performance of these officials who come from different background, environment, capabilities and discharge diversified duties assigned to them. Mission Karmayogi, on the other hand, was envisaged to transform HR management system for civil servants from rule-based to role-based in totality and in developing suitable competency. This has also led to a development of a competency-based human resource in governance for civil servants. Competencies have been defined in many ways. However, the most practical and an easy way to understand is that competencies are those underlying characteristics of an individual which can result in effective and superior performance in a job or a role. The new competency-based governance model under Mission Karmayogi provides an opportunity for central training institute like ours to design competency-based training for the Indian civil service. There are 30 competencies which have been categorized under 5 broad areas. They are ethos, ethics, equity, efficiency and productivity. Each competency has a definition and its proficiency levels. Further, each proficiency level has behavioral indicators which are objective, measurable, and are required for various positions in the ministries and departments. The prime objective of the CBTs is to stimulate the inner strength and capabilities and also to improve the functional competencies of individual trainers. Under the first competency ethos, today we will talk about commitment to the organization. The competency of commitment to the organization, also known as organizational commitment in civil services, has multiple facets involving the organization and the employee. As in, the civil servant, it revolves around goals of the organization and the commitment of the employees. It is the kind of psychological attachment to an organization. It is a relationship or a bonding that employees have with the organization. It is crucial to an extent that decides if an employee will work tirelessly for the organization or not. When an individual has a strong commitment to an organization, they invest themselves a lot more on a professional as well as at a personal level. In ancient scriptures too, the values of dharma, karma and bhakti, that is, duty, work and devotions, were held in high regards. The concept of selfless service was embedded in the Indian culture long back. The greatest epics of all time, Ramayana and Mahabharata, had and will continue having a strong impact on the governance pattern. The Arthashastra and the Manusmriti is considered to be one of the first and the most important sources in the construction of ideas of national governance in India. Each of India's ancient scriptures serves as a guide for organizational commitment and devotion to duty. For instance, Ramayana. Ramayana has been as a source of inspiration, symbolizing everyone's dedication and commitment to a societal state. Mahabharata, on the other hand, has the most thorough discourse on all elements of life, including society, management, governance, and administration, particularly the Bhagavad Gita on commitment to work. One of the ancient Indian discourses on statecraft, economic policy, and military strategy is Kautilya's Arthashastra. Accordingly, the king bears a significant amount of responsibility for building a robust government structure. The average worker is committed to the attainment of organizational goals when inspired by strong virtuous leadership, whereas some of the important attributes which a wise civil servant should possess can be sourced from the words of Vidurniti. Development stages of organizational commitment. In modern times, Dr. John Myers and Dr. Natalie Allen were pioneers in the field of workplace commitments. work motivation, leadership, and employee well-being. Eventually, they both collaborated to create this three-component model of commitment, as well as a set of measures for use in research and practice. According to them, organizational commitment is a psychological state that characterizes the employee's relationship with the organization and had implication for the decisions to continue or discontinue membership in the organization. The term employee engagement is often confused with employee commitment. Engagement refers to how happy an employee is in their job, while commitment refers to how much effort an employee puts into their job. And there is one such important distinction. An engaged employee is not necessarily a committed employee, while a dedicated employee is not always an engaged employee. In this situation, the best thing an organization can do is strike a careful balance between engagement and commitment. Meyer and Allen proposed the three-component model in 1991, each of which corresponded to a particular psychological state. The three stages were affection for your organization, that is effective commitment; fear of loss, that is continuance commitment; and sense of obligation to stay, that is normative commitment. Let me explain this to you further. Effective commitment is the desired component of organizational commitment. In this state, an employee exhibits a high level of active commitment to the organization. They are pleased, engaged, participate, and provide significant inputs and suggestions. They do all this because they want to be an integral part of the organization. Effective commitment occurs when an employee has an emotional connection to the organization. If you have heard your employees or colleagues saying that they are happy to spend the rest of their career with the current organizations, or if they enjoy discussing about their organization with people outside it, they are in an effective commitment stage. Next is continuance commitment. It occurs when an employee assesses the benefits and the drawbacks of staying or leaving the organization. At this state, there is a fear of loss at work, and their initial affection has now turned into a necessity. They want to stay because they believe that leaving would be costly, and they have already invested a significant amount of energy into it. They are emotionally and mentally attached to the organization. For them, finding an alternative is a tedious task, and leaving the current organization would somehow disrupt their lifestyles. And then there is normative commitment. During this state, the employee feels obligated to stay with the organization, irrespective of whether they are unhappy or wish to pursue new opportunities. They believe they have a duty to stay, since it is the right thing to do. They consider the time and resources that the organization has put in them, or the organization that frequently rewards them, thereby put them in this kind of state. This is also one of the final steps of organizational commitment, where a person feels obligated to stay for whatever reason. Typically, this is due to a sense of commitment to the organization. More recently, a five-component model of commitment has been proposed. The two additional stages are habitual commitment and forced commitment. Habitual commitment is when an employee becomes used to the routine and process that develops a latent commitment to the organization. Furthermore, forced commitment occurs when an employee believes that they have no choice but to stay with their company, either because they are financially dependent on it or believe that they have no other option. Importance of organizational commitment. Organizational commitment is necessary for efficiency, improved organizational performance, and advocacy. Let's talk a bit about it. Efficiency. Efficiency is derived when a person is committed to their organization. They believe in the company's shared goals, vision, and mission, which leads to increased motivation and productivity. They make a larger effort to be self-sufficient, set more ambitious goals, and accomplish more. Productivity is increased through organizational commitment. Additionally, committed people have a positive impact on the productivity of their co-workers and team members. They want everyone to give their best in order to attain common goals. Improved organizational performance. When a person is deeply invested in an organization, they are more likely to be cooperative, engaged in cooperation, and working in teams. This once again promotes team morale and productivity. Advocacy. A committed public servant is more likely to advocate for their organization because they believe in the larger vision. On both professional and personal front, they have embraced the organization's goal and values. Factors influencing organizational commitment. There are certain factors that can influence organizational commitment of an individual. They could be job satisfaction. Job satisfaction refers to how much an employee enjoys their work. A person who enjoys their job are more likely to establish a deep attachment to the organization. Leadership support. Enhanced leadership support and cohesion resulted in increased organizational commitment. The civil servants who are adequately supported are more likely to be pleased at work, which leads to higher level of motivation and productivity. Stress and ambiguity. When a civil servant receives conflicting instructions from leadership, that is, role conflict, or is unable to accomplish a task due to a lack of information, that is, role ambiguity, this is likely to generate role stress. Stress can reduce performance, productivity, and satisfaction of a civil servant. Role stress and ambiguity always have a negative impact. Empowerment. In an organization, empowerment refers to encouraging and energizing civil servants to achieve goals, boosting self-efficacy by minimizing powerlessness and increasing motivation and commitment. Empowerment is possible by structural empowerment, the ability to accomplish tasks and mobilize resources, and psychological empowerment, civil servants' psychological perception, attitudes towards their job, and organizational positions. Insecurity and employability. Insecurity is often associated with lower level of job satisfaction. When an employee believes their job is secure for the longer term, they are more likely to become invested in their role and the organization. Improvement of organizational commitment. Encourage transparency and clarity in communication. To align with an organization goals and vision, a civil servant must understand how they fit in the picture, how they can contribute, and how their role today and in the future would be. Allowing a civil servant to participate in the growth of the organization helps them feel more invested and a part of the larger mission. Furthermore, when goals and objectives are clear, individuals can make better day-to-day decisions and collaborate more effectively within their team. Holding monthly meetings, sending out circulars to staff, and important updates are the ways to accomplish it. Improve job satisfaction by using job design strategies. Job design is a process of developing a job that allows the organization to fulfill its goal while also motivating and rewarding. A well-designed job will result in higher job satisfaction and organizational commitment. Job strategies include job rotation, providing more variety and allowing a civil servant to experience different roles within the organization. Job simplification, simplifying complex tasks and streamlining the process. Job enlargement, broadening the scope of responsibilities and opportunities for development and progress. Job enrichment, investing in training and team bonding. Encourage an inclusive workplace environment. The larger an organization, the more likely it will have certain majority and minority group, where minorities are inadvertently made to feel alienated. Civil servants who lack a sense of belongingness are less likely to be engaged, satisfied in their jobs, and committed to the firm. A civil servant who feels included, valued, and heard is much more likely to succeed and be more committed to work. Some ideas for fostering an inclusive workplace environment could be: conduct a survey and act on the results. Review incentivizing practices. Make inclusiveness a part of the system. Showcase commitment to welfare. The civil servant's well-being should include more than just working conditions and job security. Consider how you may increase the well-being. A good start would be to conduct a survey to gather direct feedback and act. When you show a real concern for the well-being, they feel cared for and their job and happiness will certainly increase. Emphasis on civil servants' development. Ensure that you provide internal promotion chances as well as adequate training and development to assist a civil servant in progressing to the next stage in their careers. Provide continuous opportunities for skill development so that a civil servant can feel more competent and confident in their roles at work, increasing efficiency. Assess organizational commitment. Organizational commitment is assessed through organizational commitment questionnaires. Allen and Myers 24-item questionnaire 1990 is the most extensively used technique for measuring organizational commitment. Each level of organizational commitment, that is effective, continuous and normative, has 8 items as an appendix. It would be prudent to undertake such assessment of each government department through a structured and scientific method. To conclude, one can say that organizational is the ability and willingness to align one's own behavior with the needs and the goals of the organization, and to act in ways that promote the organization goals or meet organizational needs. Organizational commitment from civil servants means focusing on the government's mission before one's own preferences or priorities. That's all for this time. The content is curated with the help of the paper submitted by Brigadier T. Rajesh Bhanu under the guidance of IIPA faculty. Dr. Mamta Pathania, Brigadier Bhanu was a participant of the 47th Advanced Professional Program in Public Administration at IIPA. Thank you for watching.